So, Doctor Who.
Doctor Who. What current state of Doctor Who? Not very good, so we're gonna write our own one. That's better, bigger, and better than before.
Why not?
Hmm. We're done. Rusty Davis is dead in our universe. I mean, actually, no, a lot of respects.
Yeah.
He's not dead. He just doesn't want to write Doctor Who anymore.
Yeah.
Um,
We've we've told him he doesn't.
we told him it's no more for you.
I've been having a lot of ideas for this. I've been just several.
Uh, when you say what some of your ideas, I've only got a couple of ideas. So
Okay.
I am very curious to hear what you got to say.
So I mean, I don't know how possible this will be, but I came up with the idea that it would be a series that would be kind of the same length as a normal series, but split up into 4 times as many weeks to span through the whole year. So it would be like a 15-minute episode every single week for a year. Because they, in the very beginning of the show, they had lots. It spanned through the year, but they never actually managed to do every single week because they always had breaks. So I wonder if that would be
Having a. So you're saying split a 45-minute episode into
4.
15-minute pieces.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
yeah.
I also think it might be cool to have that, but have it be every episode is a two-parter.
Yeah. We can have
Every episode is
different lengths as well.
sorry. Go on.
We can have different lengths. Because definitely a normal scope episode couldn't be in just 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Uh
But why not have multiple different? Why not have
couple
shorts? Why not have
small
episodes
ones.
that are yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Have I think it also I think a big thing about Doctor Who is that there's a lot of fatigue between how it tells its overarching story and how it uses some of its side characters. So have a couple 15 minutes ones that explore
Yes.
maybe a 15-minute story is just exploring a side character. Maybe it's preamble for a bigger episode to come.
Yeah.
Definitely. What's the really famous one before Dalek Master Plan?
Mission
Do you
to
remember
the
what that was
Unknown.
called? Mission to Unknown. Have a short. Have that's something like that. But we get a bit of background beforehand. I really like that idea because then you can find out 15-minute what's going on with Osgood, what's going on with the companion's family, how are they dealing. It can be literally anything, and it also just makes the world feel a bit more big. So I really like that idea.
Definitely. And my second other idea was that to just not have the Doctor in it for the first few stories, I guess.
Ooh.
Those were my
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like that.
Because we were talking about that as well.
I had the flip of that idea, and for the finale of the series, the Doctor is not there, and it's a completely companion-focused story. The Doctor does not exist.
Yes.
One reason or another. It's no Doctor. It is just the companion working out what to do and how to resolve whatever big conflict is going on.
Yeah, it could be that. Because it's always more scary when there's no Doctor, because no one really knows what to do with it when he's not telling them what to do. Especially on Earth, because they just expect him to show up again. So we could have something that happened to the Doctor, or for the first while he could just not be there, and then we could explain that something bad happened to him.
Yeah, I think if it's at the beginning of if it's at the very beginning, have it maybe just I think the Doctor it just isn't there for these stories.
Yes.
Have it be focused on the companion, and then have the Doctor enter in a little bit later. build up a little group of characters, maybe have one of them shot in the face. The classic Doctor Who affair. If it's like near the end, more the finale, I mean, literally maybe have it that maybe the Doctor is just killed, and that is now the problem. The Doctor is just dead.
We could do that, or something like that. I mean, I'm no good at coming up with like original characters.
I do have a slight idea for a companion.
Okay.
For this Doctor. They aren't fully fleshed out. They do not have a name, but just it was the idea that because you've watched Classic Who now.
I have.
In its entirety, which is a staggering feat.
Almost all of it, except some of the lost episodes.
Yeah, and you've watched Dalek Master Plan now, which is kind of nuts. You know about Mavic Chen, finally.
I do.
But the Time War, Pandorica, Mavic Chen.
Classic.
The context behind Mavic Chen. Mavic Chen, the biggest idiot. Why was he? Sorry, I can't get into this. I can't get into.
Okay. For important.
But my point.
Yeah. No, let's get.
Sorry, no, you say.
Important information for people who haven't seen the Dalek Master Plan. Mavic Chen absolutely did not deserve to be in the Doctor's big list of evil people, who were very intimidating. And that is all I will say on the matter.
Like it just he like from what you told me is like he's an interesting villain.
Yeah, he's just like,
not like
he's like a politician who gets strung along by the Daleks because they promise him more power, and then they turn on him and he's like, the Doctor's trying to steal all my power.
Once again, I, Mavic Chen, guardian of the solar system, have helped the Daleks with their conquest plan. Our alliance has ended. What?
And then they kill him.
The thing that most villains forget about the Daleks, and they do it all the time, is that they actually hate everyone and want to kill everyone. And that's what they want to do all the time. And so you can't really side with them because they're just going to betray you. Like, of course they're going to betray you. Like, what? Come on, Chen. Come on.
Yeah. Poor Mavic Chen.
It's poor Mavic Chen, taken from us too soon, or not soon enough, just depending on your perspective, I suppose. So going back to like the reason I brought that up is because I was thinking about Ace's little mini arc in Classic Who and how it's like the Doctor at the end reveals that there was all some sort of big. He was sort of using Ace in a little way as this big game with Fenric, who was not mentioned in that big list of monster names, and it got me thinking about the Doctor stringing someone along a little bit or trying to change someone's like fate, and it was the idea that the Doctor takes on a companion. Like someone who's a scientist who. Sorry, but this idea is clear in my mind. It's just hard to explain.
It's fine. It's
fine.
fine.
The Doctor takes on someone who's like a scientist who is working towards like cybernetics, stuff like that. Whose predestined like life is to become, who is to convert the Earth into a Cyberman homeworld, and the Doctor's like adventures with this person lead them to sort of build a disgust for the Cybermen, essentially changing their future. And Doctor's like, oh, I've done a good thing. I've averted someone's life. I've averted this sort of horrible event.
Can we? You continue, and then I'll say what I was going to say.
Yeah, I was just going to and like the Doctor's very happy they've averted this sort of future seemingly by showing them the sort of horrors of cyber conversion along the way. But someone from this now sort of aborted future has come back to set time right, and they would be like acting as the primary antagonist for this series.
I think it would be cool to have this person to be like the Doctor to find them like as they are enacting their plan, and then at the end, like they have nothing and they go, "Doctor, take me with you" or something.
I don't know. I did like the idea that this is the Doctor essentially manipulating someone's life, a perceived better goal without telling them. Because I don't know.
Okay. So there's no way you could know this, and I don't know if it will affect how you think about it, but that is the plot of JX's series 14.
Oh, I see.
I see.
I know.
Their companion was going to be Hitler in the future. So
I see.
I guess
but-
that is a good reason for the main series to do that, but if so many people are thinking about it, we could still do it. I'm just saying.
I think I know that. I think I vaguely remember that one. My sort of difference of it is like this person is not a bad person. They are not an evil person. They are just someone in the so at some point in the future they are going to save humanity, quote unquote, turning them into Cybermen.
Okay.
That is just.
What about we have an episode at some point where the Doctor is in the future, and then the Doctor and whoever's helping him, like, they lose. And then the Doctor is like, okay, I've lost the Earth now, and the only way I could probably get it back is by breaking every law that I have fought to protect before. And if I go back in time and prevent this, and then he goes back in time, and then the audience has some kind of knowledge of like what the Doctor is trying to prevent, because I'm trying to describe this well, but like he finds the villain at an earlier point, and then he's like, "Do you want to come with me," or whatever.
This does bring me. Sorry, I because we could, if we're trying to not be sued by JXC. I do have another companion idea.
Yeah.
Of along the same lines but different significantly.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I told you this idea literally ages ago. Of a companion who, and this could be our opening episode. If we wanted it. So it's a group of people marooned, seemingly on a spaceship, whatever. The details I've not thought out. They're seemingly led by someone who is calling themselves the Doctor, and like I'm just imagining a sort of amalgamation of like Matt Smith and David Tennant, but the real Doctor is amongst this group of people trying to like maybe regain their memories or just thwart this villain plan.
Okay. I definitely love the idea that the Doctor is like one of the side characters who just sort of reveals themselves at the end. So okay,
and that's the big reveal. And like,
big question: Is this the 15th Doctor or the 16th Doctor? Are we inventing our own Doctor? I feel like we probably should.
I was actually thinking the 14th Doctor because I love.
You want to do the 14th? Is this going to be the 14th Doctor?
No.
Are we going to do that?
I've actually been picturing the 15th Doctor when I've been thinking about this, honestly.
Me too.
Unless you've got an idea.
I guess why not? I mean, this could be like a alternate Ncuti Gatwa.
This is right after he's ejected Ruby from the TARDIS into space.
Yeah, so one small change to the to series 14. when Ruby says she wants to leave, the Doctor pulls up the ramp that he's always had and ramps her into space. And that's that.
And then it
This
starts
is what would have
playing-
happened if that had happened.
It starts playing bum 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 ba-dum bum 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 as she falls out into the time vortex and is killed instantly. So I think have this be 15th Doctor, an opening story to a new season. It's a series of events happens involving the sort of the fake Doctor leading around this group of people, and at the end it's revealed that this entity is like, it's your classic like, I'm draining all of your memories, your lives to sort of feed myself. I need new experience, like or like something very Doctor Who-y like that. Like they love monsters like that.
Ollie, is this gonna be
Sarah
Omega?
Jane Adventures fucking them. It's Omega. The Doctor defeats this, I think have them being like a shapeshifter. Like I always imagine them as like this sort of shapeshifting. They can like a being that can form into architecture and other forms. The Doctor defeats them, and like all the other characters are set free, and this creature is sort of left kind of defeated. And instead of like abandoning them, the Doctor's like, if you really wanted to experience stuff, if you want fulfillment, you could just come with me. I would have probably taken you anywhere.
That is a very 15th Doctor thing to do, I think.
It's very compassionate and very sort of kind.
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
Do you know what thing I don't think the 15th Doctor does? What doesn't show off his character?
Yeah.
Smashing Sutek around the time vortex and killing him brutally.
Okay.
I don't think that really fits. But I think being very kind to Monster and the sort of villain of the episode, and Ewan Lee, where other Doctors have sort of, I feel like, half-heartedly offered redemption, this is a real come with me.
Because
show you the universe.
Is that Monster?
No, don't be silly. Ruby, there's no such thing as monsters. It's just creatures you haven't met yet.
Because this creature would feed off experiences, right? Like the experiences of other people. And I think maybe if the alternative for this this person would be to just like wither away in this spaceship, drifting off. Yeah.
Because then I think you have a companion who is like being brought along to essentially just kind of like siphon off the Doctor. Like, I think from their perspective is like, okay, you're sort of mitigating the damage I could do to other people. But then that is the sort of like the slow reveal that like the Doctor genuinely does care, and like that they live very similar lives, but the Doctor's doing it in a much sort of healthier way and genuinely trying to help someone.
Yeah.
And then that's the sort of, and then there doesn't really need to be a big arc where the companion has some sort of dark tie or like they're a god or whatever. This is just a genuine, like, the Doctor's taking them on a trip to help them be better.
Okay.
And to sort of look after them and like.
All right. I think that could be the first 3 episodes, maybe.
What cover?
That spaceship thing.
First 3, really? Like,
2 or 3.
I was thinking just 1 really for that one.
1 15 minutes. For a companion entrance.
Oh, for 15 minutes.
Yes.
Okay.
If we're still doing that 15-minute thing.
I was thinking more just have the 15 minutes be like almost interludes for stuff.
Yes, but I mean, maybe I'm not explaining myself. I mean, like, there would be 15 minutes of each episode each week. So 3 episodes would be equivalent to 45 minutes because they're each 15 minutes. Does that make sense?
I think go for 2 parts then, 2 15-minute stories each.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think like the main build of that episode should be built on a lot of Doctor Who cliches of like, oh, an abandoned spaceship. Oh, what's this? Oh, the time the TARDIS wasn't able to detect it. We're in a place out of time, and sort of like, and then like as it sort of like starts to deteriorate a little bit more, and the actual Doctor figures out what's going on. It's like the Chumblies have arrived. Oh dear, oh the Chumblies, and everyone at that point is like not buying what's going on.
So
This-
are we? So is this the quotes Doctor who is like
This is the
landing here?
like or at least like these free survivors with the Doctor included in that wake up. Doctor is there, like the quotes Doctor is there, and arrives and is just kind of like, oh hello there, oh, and just sort of like a slew of David Tennant and Matt Smith like mannerisms.
Yeah.
And it's like, we've got to get off this ship. The TARDIS has landed here. Time coagulator's not working, or some nonsense like that. And it just sort of like, and I think this is the time to bring in Z-list villains. I think of like Crotons are behind this made up villain plan, or the Quarks. They're back.
Are we gonna do the? Okay, let's do the Quarks. I love those.
You know what? Let's do the Quarks.
Okay.
But I imagine like a modern like, you know how they redesigned every classic Who monster. Like it's our weapons grade Quark. It's like the deadliest Quark you've ever seen. They've made the Dalek into a tank, so the Quark has to be equally as intimidating.
They've got a machine gun, and that's the only difference.
They've ditched the their little like flappy arms that they break out for like a hard-hitting machine gun. Also, what do we want to have a name for our villain turned companion?
Like a weird name with like an X in it or something.
Axe.
Axe. Did you just say the word axe?
I said the word yaks.
Yaks.
Yaks. I think a name the Doctor could abbreviate easily.
Yes.
I
mean, we could just do that with 5 syllables. If we had it be that.
Yeah, so like I think as the story is going on, I think the Doctor's best way of like defeating the villain plan is mostly just, I think, just pointing out the padding of as it to the other like members of this group, like of how like it's another corridor shot, or we spent loads of time in one room.
I don't know if that's a very good for modern Doctor Who. I think we've left that in the past.
That's
now.
true. You know, you're right. But I do like it if it's because I mean, to be honest, the commentary can mainly just be on the idea of bringing back an old villain.
Yes,
because there's an incredibly funny there's a Ninth Doctor comic that I saw. That I saw a YouTuber was talking about on a really good Doctor Who YouTube series, and it was the Slovenes, like the Slovenia running like a Doctor Who TV show or something, and they bring back like weapons grade Chumblies, and the Doctor the whole time is like, Those are not Chumblies. They're not Chumblies. And he's getting really upset about how they're disgracing the Chumblies name.
They're not. They're not Chumblies. They don't look like Chumblies.
I think the other big things you can probably talk about in Doctor Who is, I don't know. I'm trying to think other sort of revival Who like quirks of that era. Maybe one of the like side characters is being set up to have like an amazingly like deep and rich backstory with the fake Doctor, and then the Prime Doctor's like, nah. I've seen this like.
How do you mean?
Sorry. Like I'm only thinking like fake Doctor keeps making like Impossible Girl level like observations. Like, who are you? What's your deal? What are you up to?
Yeah. Yes. I see what you mean. We should do that.
And as it sort of all falls apart, the real sort of meat of the plan is revealed, and it's like I'm gonna keep contriving stories of you forever, Doctor, until you are just kind of nothing, because then I'll be, and like that will keep me going for a little while.
What if it turns out that this is like a pocket dimension that like the Doctor can't escape, and so he's kind of playing along with it?
Yeah, I like that. Like he's also, it would be quite funny to see, because you know that bit in with Peter Capaldi when he walks into the TARDIS time and he's like pretending to be like amazed by how it's bigger on the inside. Like, that bit, but it's like, but it's what? Like it's him like doing the companion tropes.
I can imagine the 15th Doctor doing that, like, but way more, you know.
Yeah, I okay, and right. So we have a sort of somewhat plan for this. Sorry, I just noticed the image. Noticed the image.
Yeah, it's very integral to the episode, so I had looked it up.
Sorry, I really like the idea of the machine gun quark. I really think it's fun. It's so because that is a big thing with I do like a lot of the revival Who designs, but they do aim to make like sort of the design they think for their character, for like a lot of, especially the Cybermen, is like bigger is scarier.
Yeah.
When like I think in fact like kind of lesser with the Cybermen is usually best.
You just made me think of like, what if we made these quarks taller than a person, like really tall.
Really tall. They're
so big.
I think that, yeah, no. Please, hold on, I'll just put hold on. 7 feet tall.
7 feet tall quarks.
They would have to trundle around more than the original.
Okay. Okay. Because I've never really come up with I don't know how much detail is the right amount of detail for this. Should we just...
I mean, I think that's quite enough of that. I think if you're happy with that, we've sort of got a little bit of a premise.
Yeah.
I think it could be quite funny for 2 15-minute episodes.
Okay.
I think especially that premise definitely fits into a shorter run. Like, I think that does work quite nicely.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. We need more ideas. Wait. Firstly, let's write that up. So I'm bad at writing because I've just been talking now, and now I have to write. It's hard to remember.
Do you want me to write?
Yes, please.
Fake Doctor takes a small group of survivors, including the 15th Doctor, through a contrived Doctor Who episode in order to leech off the Doctor's like adventures.
Yeah.
I think every time like the Doctor sort of starts to peel back the cracks, like a new that's when the Quark is introduced. Like that's the sort of like pushes the action forward.
Yeah, I'm trying to think how that might, like, about that exact moment. Like, what?
The Quarks have voices. What do they sound like? Actually,
I don't think
I've
they
always actually
do.
forgotten what they sound like.
Yes.
Initial report. All prisoners except one showing signs of fatigue.
I feel like the technology exists now to give them a really scary voice. Not scary. Yeah. I don't mean scary. I mean like imposing.
Peels back the formula. Villain is forced to reveal themselves. And I think the way the Doctor could defeat the the sort of shapeshifter, whatever their name may be, is as the walls are getting thinner, I like having and using the other people in the group to imagine a single item to get them out of there, and then the Doctor can start pulling out like all of the bullshit things of the past that have just ended the episode instantly. Like I'm trying to think what like psychic paper, like anything that gets the Doctor out of like loopholes and questions like shows up.
Yeah.
In a way.
It's hard to think of those now without like looking through a list of the episodes. But
exactly. And also they're not very prevalent anymore. The Mavity gloves come back into it.
Oh yeah, I mean if we're including Chekhov's guns in that, like
that's what throughout the episode the Doctor is having people set up various Chekhov's guns to defeat the villain by the end of it.
We could have it be something like I've set up this plan. No, but I thought you'd do that, so I did this. No, but I knew you'd do that, so I did this, or something.
The Doctor's been like building a script, a play-by-play, and it's just like, hey, how do you write yourself out of a corner? Make it up as you go. So I've got it.
The only thing I'm thinking of right now is the Tesselector. They
yeah.
When River Song shot him, and then it turned out it was the Tesselector. And I was watching a video about how they didn't have time to write an actual ending. So even though they'd like proved it was the Doctor previously, like with all the regeneration energy, they just made it be this Tesselector.
Oh, that'd be really funny that like, this was like, oh, you thought this was actually me the whole time? This has been my fake body. Like
yeah, because that's the villain is pretending to be the Doctor as well.
Yeah.
So the Doctor then pretends to also be the Doctor.
Yeah, so it's all just like and I think the sort of contrivance just builds and builds from there.
I had the idea, what if the universe is actually imaginary and the only real person is the Doctor? Or is that not?
Oh, so it's just the Doctor and this creature who are like the other people aren't real.
The Doctor's the only real person.
Like that. I'm actually down with that. I think that's a really cool idea.
Okay.
So the Doctor the Doctor brings down the limitless imagination of this creature through contrivance.
Yeah.
Sort of easy like get out of jail free cards. That's really funny. That's really funny.
What if the Doctor has so much fun with doing that? It's just like, now I figured you out. You're not very powerful, are you?
Yeah, you're not very powerful. You're not even very evil, to be honest. And as this sort of like creature is like kind of licking its wounds a bit, it's like, you know.
Yeah.
If you, while you're sort of, I feel like you could have the moment where like this the shapeshifter like swears revenge on the Doctor. It's like, yeah. But while you're like building up to that, you're gonna be pretty bored for a while, right? You're not gonna be too busy, right? While you're building up to your revenge. Why don't you just come with me?
Yes. Okay. I'll write this bit.
Okay, of course.
Imagine
Very cool.
universe.
I also, this is just for going forward. I think it would be fun to have a sort of very feminine presenting form for the shapeshifter, but also a more masculine presenting form that they sort of swap between each episode.
Maybe the shapeshifter just has a different actor every single episode.
That could be fun. That actually be, honestly, that's a really cool idea. Like just similar mannerisms, but just like it's a different actor.
It could be like each actor is told this is how the shapeshifter acts. But they can all put their own spin on it. You know, with their own acting.
Like their own flair. And that's also a way to tie them to the character. Tie them to the Doctor. In the way that's how the Doctor works.
Yeah, exactly.
Of like every incarnation of the Doctor is the same, but each actor puts their own flair to it and spin on it. And I think that's a really fun way of like linking them.
Okay.
And also, I think going forward, personality-wise, I do like them being quite snarky, not in like a Marvel way. I know I hate that I have to preface it with that, but like the Doctor can't do like the regular companion affair of like, oh, here's an alien planet, here's an alien world. It's like, yeah, I guess it's pretty. I guess it's pretty interesting. I can build an entire world with just a thought. You're gonna have to try harder than that, like to be interesting to me.
I think then it would be cool to have this shapeshifter be in some way afraid to go into the main universe because they have no power in there. They can just imagine their own form. Hang on, that could be it. They can imagine that they're a different form, and that's how it works. And
absolute control over their form, but just they can't control the rest of reality.
Yeah, and they're afraid of that. Even though being in their own pocket universe is boring and miserable, they're afraid of the wider universe.
Their sort of arc is, in a sense, is like I think quite a simple one of coming to terms with not needing to have existing in other spaces and not needing to have not being able to control everything as a crutch or as a shield. Okay,
so then maybe that leads into the next episode, because what if the hang on, we'll have to think of a name before we go on, because this is getting annoying just using pronouns for them.
Vex.
Okay.
As a placeholder, that was the laziest attempt I could come up with. I keep wanting to say Gex, but Gex. I can't say Gex.
Could be Gex.
No, we can't have it be Gex. He's a lizard who makes quips about movies. We can't have it be Gex.
We can't.
This is worse than the time I was at Jack Nicholson's house.
What if the Doctor gives them a name?
That could be, because maybe they just don't have a name to begin with.
I mean, they wouldn't need one. They only ever use the imagination of other people.
Yeah. So maybe it is just the Doctor runs through a mishmash of names that he remembers, and for the first couple of episodes, we could have it be that the Doctor is trying out new names to see if they like it.
Yeah.
And then by maybe let's say episode 5 or 6, they've settled on a name. quite like.
Oh, that's brilliant. Okay.
I'm gonna have a little bit of a I'm gonna just underneath the episode. I'm just gonna do a little character one. And just have our
Okay.
shapeshifter just down here as our companion. Thank you. So I think personally did you have an idea for episode 3?
Yes. So, what if the this shapeshifter person is like, okay, so now I need to get us out of this pocket dimension, but I've never tried to do that before. So, they really like try and do it, and they get spat out into some galactic backwater place where like no one wants to be or something. And they, after the consequences of something in the episode, they get the opportunity to get some kind of power or control back by like controlling other people, like being in charge or something. But they have like too much empathy for other people, so they just like every time they look down on someone, they feel their distress, I guess.
Ooh, I personally think bump that down to episode 5.
Okay.
And like, instead of them escape, I think escaping the universe be normal, but something separates them from the Doctor and lands them on this sort of backwater world where they sort of assume it's a colony that's sort of not thriving, and they have the sort of vision to like help them. But it's all kind of like a form of like seeking control.
Okay.
Like, oh, I have a way to completely not dominate, but you know what I mean, like completely have complete autonomy and freedom over these people. And as it goes on, they're like you were saying, that they feel like the sort of hopes and like sort of despair and like fears of these people, and it becomes less of a situation of like, I need to control this, to, oh my god, this is way too much. I can't let these people like suffer. This hurts. And I think if we're doing 2 15-minute ones, have another 2-parter. First 15 minutes are like the building of this sort of like new little mini colony. And part 2 is like the stress of that beginning to collapse, like, and it like actually starts to feast away, like eat away at them.
I feel like this could be like 3 episodes.
Okay, cool.
Because maybe the first like 2 could be the Doctor just being trapped in it, and then in the last episode, like everything's going wrong for the shapeshifter.
Yeah. Do you want to have how do you want to have the Doctor? Do you want to have the Doctor involved?
I think that maybe the Doctor and the shapeshifter they like come to this place together, and then they get captured, and then the shapeshifter's like, I could be of use to you. You should let me help you be evil.
Or like this like commune's kind of like disruptive and a bit corrupt, and like, hey, I can bring order to that.
Yeah.
Absolutely bring control, and like they do. And I think it's like, I think they could have also like a faux sort of villain plan of like using the sort of like, I'm going to help this commune develop its technology enough, have me at the center of it, and by the time I like get them connected on some sort of psychic grid, and then we can just be right back to where they were in episode 1.
Yeah.
Like a consistent like group to harvest forever. Like, it's a nasty plan.
Yeah.
Like,
but
maybe the Doctor
I think it would be different from what they usually do, because like they have lackeys now, and their lackeys are like, hey, do you want me to deal with this guy? And then they put people in prison and like torture people or whatever.
I think
And they've never seen that happen before.
like, oh yeah, and like they don't. I think they would be quite benevolent, but then maybe like their right hand is like, hey, this person's like getting disrupted, they're getting suspicious, and I think they do sort of flippantly say like, yeah, get rid of them, like just make sure they're not a problem anymore.
Yeah.
And this person is like killed, and they feel it sort of like reverberate through them.
Yeah.
The death of this person, like the loss of them.
Maybe
Like-
yes. And maybe eventually they go like, okay, no one's going to kill anyone anymore. And then all of the colonists just rise up against them. And that's how they lose.
That's how they like whoever this sort of like, you know, Unearthly Child,
Yeah, you'll have to probably remind me.
Caveman Politics, first episode.
Yeah, I know the first episode of that, but not what happens in the rest of the serial.
Oh, mostly it was just I was just thinking like maybe I think they would grow an attachment to at least a couple people, like maybe like a family there who they don't realize they're growing like quite close to, and as their sort of villain plan starts to crumble because they feel like, oh my god, this is wrong. What am I doing? I'm gonna seriously hurt these people. Their right hand, whoever it might be, like turns on them. It gets people like if a little militia was building throughout the whole thing, like, oh, they've betrayed us all. We're like bringing this whole thing down.
Yeah.
Maybe have it that like, because I know you mentioned the Doctor being a prisoner. Maybe that it's like there are just scenes where just once per episode where the shapeshifter visits the Doctor just to talk, and each conversation they're clearly much more like emotional and desperate than before.
Yes. Maybe like there could be like a section where the Doctor is free, like and then like talking to the colonists about what's going on, and then like trying to depose the shapeshifter because he's like, I shouldn't have trusted this person. And then they get captured, and then the shapeshifter starts like visiting the Doctor, and he's like, the Doctor like starts to see like what's happening to this person internally, and then maybe halfway through the last episode, they the colonists like break out the prison, and the Doctor's like, I don't want to leave because I could do more in here. I could get this person to stop.
I do have an idea. The shapeshifter, like, it's all falling apart. This sort of like homegrown militia is rising up. The people who were like opposing them before, like, maybe everyone who was friendly to the shapeshifter is now sort of turned on them because they've realized, oh, you were just trying to manipulate us, and they're like saying, no, it's different now. The Doctor's like about to escape and even ready to like do a revolution, and the shapeshifter just comes to them like breaking down, crying, and just says, please get me out of here. Please help me. I want to leave.
But then maybe the Doctor would say, I'm not going to let you leave. You have to put this right.
Oh, I was going to say, I've actually had the opposite. The Doctor does take them away in the TARDIS, and the shapeshifter asks, what's the future of the colonists?
Oh.
What happens to them as they go? And the Doctor just says, like, just something along those lines of, like, do you really want to know what's going to become of them now? If we, like... And maybe the Doctor tells them what would happen if they'd never arrived on the planet or done any of this. What would have happened to the colonists?
Okay, this might be kind of the opposite of your idea. But what if, like, if they hadn't ever shown up, then the colonists would have just kept being oppressed and like would have done nothing. But because they rose up against the shapeshifter, because the shapeshifter was really bad at being a dictator, or like a what's it called, like a warlord? Like the shapeshifter was so bad at being a warlord that the colonists managed to rise up against their rulers, and now they're living happily there. So it's
Yeah.
like
Oh, that's a really good idea. No, that's really cool.
you actually did
Love
some
that.
good there.
It's like the Doctor's like clearly angry and like upset, and like they did like they suffered
Oh.
long and hard,
Yeah.
but they rose up in spite of you. And
Ah.
I think that might be the moment where the Doctor's like, okay, this is your last. This like, or it was just fun and games, but like if you do that again, I won't be there to step in and help you.
Yes. Yeah, I like that.
And then that's like a significant, and I think over 3 episodes that'd be really cool to see like play out.
Definitely. Okay.
It's kind of a mix of Also, sorry.
I love that. I was just gonna say I love that.
So do we want that to be episodes of 5, 6, and 7? Perfect.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, I think it should be at least the 3rd serial. It depends what we want to have in between them.
I think episode 3 is
Hang
fluff.
on. Let's write that up first.
Yeah. Because that's a fantastic. I really like that. We love the premise of this. I think that's a really fun one. And also like that's like the companion doing an actually bad thing.
Yeah.
And the Doctor like, which never happens. Like Turlo was so shit at being evil the whole run. Like this is the companion actually doing something bad. There's a War Master audio called Skyman, and it's a similar premise to this, but not as like it's like significantly different because it's someone trying to do a good thing. Like the companion of the War Master, like they land on a world during the Time War that hasn't been affected yet. And slowly over time, they see like how the Time War reaches them and starts warping and killing this world. The companion tries to save them, inadvertently turns them into like a cyborg race similar to the Daleks.
Oh,
That will go on to conquer and destroy worlds.
I love that. That's cool. I should watch that.
It's a really good one. I think also the shapeshifter would bond with a few of the colonists and like. I think they would be, unlike whatever the previous regime was, they'd present themselves as a lot more benevolent. But it's still like, oh, like they clearly have an evil plan where they're going to like psychically manipulate these people. I think that's a really cool idea.
I think that's everything, right? I think I've written down everything.
It begs them to leave, and then just like the Doctor chose the shapeshifter the future of the colony, if you want to include that, but that's like I really, because I think it's also, I can still very much picture this being 15. Like,
yeah,
I think you would get the sort of, this is the moment, because I think you do see that, I think when he's imprisoned, he is quite calm and still very compassionate. By the end, you still see that compassion, but there is the anger of like,
yeah.
If you do this again, I can't. And I think it's not even phrased as a threat. It's more like, I won't help you. How could I help you if you do something like this again?
Yeah.
I think from that point on, this is a turning point for them as a character where they are genuinely going to try and be better and not so insular.
Okay.
And I think we can I think when we start writing this up again, we'll go back to episodes 3 and 4 and maybe set that up a little bit of like someone who, they clearly are someone who is very, well, they've sort of like kind of have to be very self-centered because that's what their life's been up until this point.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
I think episode 3 is I think maybe a bit more like fluff. I think episode 3 and 4 should be single episodes, like short episodes.
Okay.
They're a bit like an episode 3 is more just a sort of trip around the just like the Doctor attempting to impress the shapeshifter.
Okay.
I really like the idea of the Doctor like taking them back to either see some animals or maybe like sort of caveman times, and the shapeshifter's like, I mean, look at, like, grabs a caveman, like, look at this. I could do so much better. I'd get rid of all these lines. I'd sort of push back the face a little bit. I could model something so much better than this. Just bothering a Neanderthal.
I feel like that would be a good episode 4 thing. Like the Doctor's like if the Doctor was trying to impress someone, he'd take them to Earth, I feel like.
Yeah, that's true.
So I do like the idea of episode 3 being they're trying to escape the pocket dimension.
Ooh. Have it be that it's like a bunch of different like styles. Like maybe it like switches mediums a couple times as they're trying to like leave this space.
They get stop motioned. They meet Gwimbly.
I think when the shapeshifter finds the TARDIS, I imagine they would be like they would genuinely be very impressed with the TARDIS and clearly have a lot of like malice when they're like, oh my god, this machine's incredible. You could do anything you want with this. Wow, I can't wait to like explore it and control it. And I was like, they're just like, no, we can do that later. We can do that later.
Yeah.
But like, so episode 3 is them escaping the pocket reality. Maybe because you've mentioned imagination, I'm now thinking they go through like every other pocket reality. Maybe they go through the land of imagination. The land of fiction.
Okay, the land of fiction.
Little trip to the land of fiction.
I do like that.
If this is a creature who's like they can just build a world from their own mind, like, then I think they'd be like connected tangentially to the land of fiction. Maybe the Doctor sees Jamie too. Sees fake Jamie.
The fake Jamie.
Again. The fake Jamie who's like, because they couldn't get back the actor, so they made him look weird. I do like them having I do like as they like travel through the land of fiction and deal with its kind of like weirdness. The shapeshifter is like talking to the Doctor about like just asking a lot of very prying questions and sort of just trying to get an estimation of who they actually are. Because obviously they've seen it, and I think they would also know some details about them, like their companions, and be kind of making fun of them a little bit, and like their past interactions with people.
I feel like they could be like pretending to be Zoe, I guess.
Oh, like pretend like they shapeshift into an old companion.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be quite fun. That would actually be really cool. I like that. Of them being like, wow, Doctor, where are we today? And the Doctor's like, all right.
Yeah. So I guess that would just be like a short. They go there, for like a while.
Yeah, deal with some weird shit in the land of fiction in order to sort of get out back to the TARDIS.
Yeah. And then after that, you would the Doctor would take them somewhere to impress them. I feel like that's too big of a concept to be 15 minutes. I think that could be 30 minutes.
Episode 3, 30 minutes.
Yeah. So I mean 2 episodes.
Okay, cool.
Oh,
you could just make episode. Oh, okay. So you're gonna make episode 3 is Land of Fiction, little mini adventure.
Yes.
Episode 4 or 5 is exploring.
I feel like medieval England would be a pretty interesting place. Maybe.
We could have about 3 time periods, like medieval England, maybe future. Do you think have them all Earth based?
I think if the Doctor was trying to impress someone, they'd take them to Earth. That's just like how I understand the Doctor. One of the things that I did quite want to do was to do something which they haven't really done since the second Doctor, which is make a perfectly serious and yet wildly inaccurate prediction about the future.
Oh, I like that. That's a fun one.
So we could do that.
So, do we want to set... Okay. because of how these things always go, they're set. We have to set it far enough away, but quite close that it could very clearly be wrong. I'd say 2040.
2040.
Do you think that's
Okay.
too close?
20... Because, like, 2070, because that's 50 years in the future.
That sounds good.
Also, I seem to remember that 2070 was the year the moon base happened in.
Okay. 2070 then. That sounds good to me.
It could be, like, there's, like, some references to the moon base. I feel like if we've been to the land of fiction in the previous episode, maybe not do that same thing again, but, like, we could, like,
maybe we have
reference
to
the
know
moon base.
I think maybe stay away from any more like heavy references
Yeah.
or anything. But I like the idea of the episode starts in like medieval England.
Yeah, and he's like, I don't like this. This is boring.
And it's boring, and I think the shapeshifter does grab like a very important lord by the face and like talks to the Doctor about how he'd redesign them and like make them look less ugly, essentially.
Maybe they could like actually try and do that, and his face gets a little weird.
Yeah, and like, oh wow, like that's quite scary. I like that. The shapeshifter does have a little bit of control to like morph other people.
Yeah.
If I just remove a few wrinkles and lines and maybe reshape the chin, and the Doctor like snatches them away, like, okay.
Maybe
Right.
he fixes it with his sonic screwdriver.
Or maybe just it's like the shapeshifter's like, what did I do? He's like, you invented plastic surgery like 1,000 years too early. And then the Doctor's like, okay, future. We're usually safe in the future.
I like that as well, because normally there's like they go to the past and then they go to the future, or in two subsequent episodes.
And
But,
to
like,
sort of speed run that a little bit, I quite like. So what do we want going on? So we've got like our medieval prelude. What do we want going on in 2070?
We could make like a prediction about the internet, maybe. Like, what will the internet be in 50 years?
What I'm enjoying about these stories so far, yeah, like a prediction about the internet. Do we want to have a villain in this episode, or do we want to keep it villain light? Because I'd be fine with villain light, because that's what we've been doing so far, which I've quite enjoyed.
Yeah, that is like a cool idea.
We've because of who our central character is, obviously not including the Doctor. I do quite enjoy. I mean, I think something could. If we're in the future, we could have some classic sort of like. I'm just trying to think of like, because it's hard to build a sort of world. I like the idea of there's something about the internet has changed.
Maybe it's like people have glasses that make them see the internet the whole time.
They've got Google Glass.
They've got Google Glass.
Google Glass.
What if it was a legally distinct version of Google?
Google. It
Zoogle.
could be. It could be. Ooh. I have an idea.
Yeah.
Like the idea, I think it plays into our overall themes of like created a way like the internet through the internet or some sort of technology. The civilization of Earth is planning out their future. Maybe they are like using machinery to dictate where the Earth will go next. Not only like not only just like how it will look, but like who are we going to have a war with next? What planet are we going to next? What's going to be like? What is the exact destination of Earth so we can mitigate any risk? Like, what's going to be the most convenient conflicts and like deals and please floods can we have a year? Like,
because that's
and then
I I hate to bring up the moon base again, but that is what the moon base was. It was controlling the weather.
It is. And just like an evolution of that technology in a way. Like I don't think any like direct references to it, but it's like, oh, like not only are we gonna have an idea of like what natural disasters are we gonna have? Who's it gonna hit? Like, and maybe like with like just have a sort of a darkly comic scene of like, okay, Madrid's had 2 tsunamis in the last year, so I think we should start ease off on them a little bit, guys. Just like, and that it's very cynically planning. Like it's so like I think the sort of nihilism about like major world events and climate change is taken into the hands of very like bureaucratic minds and like, okay, so we can't actually stop any of this now, but we can control it utterly, or at least we're not going to stop it, but we are going to make sure it's ordered.
I kind of want. I feel like if we were the BBC, we couldn't put Elon Musk in it, but I want like maybe a reference, maybe like.
Do you want like a villainous CEO? Some
weird billionaire who's been alive since the 2000s. Yeah, since the 2000s.
I like someone
or
like
the 80s or something.
They're now. Ooh, I do like that. Maybe just have like, okay, because the president of like Earth is now like say like there's a president, there's a leader of the entirety of Earth.
Yeah.
Like instead of having elections now, we have like backups. So we can just defrost someone, and they're going to be the leader for a while.
We've cloned JFK 300 times.
we have a couple George Washingtons on file. We have like a concoction human being of like world leaders.
Yes.
Who just gets like
brought
out when.
What if like when we set up the thing, everyone was like, okay, but we don't want anyone else's leader. We want our own leader. And no one could decide. And then everyone was like, okay, what if we combine all the leaders into one person and then clone that one person 3 million times? And then just have that person be the president forever.
Really like that. Like this is like president number like 256.
Yeah.
Who has decided like this is the course we're now on. And the course we're going to be for a very long time.
Yeah.
Like maybe, and it's the whole. I think then you can be like, don't worry, guys. If anything goes majorly wrong, President 258 will fix all of this, and then 259 is going to fuck it all up again. But then we right back on track with 2589. I swear. Okay, and then you can have it be like the conflict. Also, is like obviously the Doctor's trying to stop this because it's abhorrent. But then you just have kind of like the shapeshifter being like, I don't know, Doctor, if they really can't fix their world, if they genuinely can't do it, having an ordered structure of things might be better.
Yeah.
Like if they have to have this, if they have to kill each other, if their world has to crumble, at least they have more control over the sort of descent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best outcome. And the Doctor's like, no, I reject that outcome. I reject that.
Yeah.
As a worldview.
And it could be like, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, it could be the Doctor trying to teach them a lesson.
Yeah, and that's like him trying to like sort of like teach them more. Sorry, someone might be knocking on my door.
Oh,
hold on a minute. False alarm. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
What were you looking up?
Oh, I was looking up what year the moon base was set in, and it was 2070. Like the actual
maybe
year.
like
exactly.
Like I like the idea. I really like the concept of like dictating global tragedy through a like intense like you have just a bunch of people in a room who are being like ordered by the eternal president of Earth, who I think every alteration of this president has a slight bias inbuilt into them. So like it's never just it gives the feeling that it's a slightly different person each time.
Yeah.
Okay, I think this is a fantastic concept. I think the biggest question that all people who are writing Doctor Who face is, how does the Doctor solve the situation?
I think we might be running up against that problem. We might be finding out why it's like that.
Why it's like, because I genuinely have absolutely no idea how the Doctor would. I suppose
maybe he could just blow everything up.
Maybe it's like, could be that the Doctor could ask the shapeshifter to take the place of the president.
Oh, and then yeah.
Have the president have the shapeshifter take the place of a president and be like, them pretend to well, I've been defrosted, I've been let out, and the other one's like, but no, I'm in charge. I'm the one. You have to go back into storage. And like, oh, no. I am in charge. We have to hold an election. What? No, that's not in the rules. What are the rules if there are two presidents at a time, and they have to they now have to
and then they
for
find
the same person.
They dust off a rule book and blow off all the dust, and they're like, well, it turns out we should have an election. If there's two people who want to be president.
That's enough time. I think that's enough time for the Doctor to begin dismantling this machine.
Yeah.
Or at least to as the Doctor is working this machine and trying to now that people are distracted from it and no longer getting orders for it, he sort of realizes, oh my god, this thing is so deeply entrenched into it is a world shaping device. It is so I don't know if I turn this off, they might not be able to function as a society for a long time. And I think I think the Doctor just has to weigh up as am I going to cause more catastrophe or let them stay on this sort of path of of equal cruelty? What are you going to say?
Okay, I forgot what I was going to say, but my only thought was, I think this is 2075 is too early for this idea. I think if we did 2175 or something.
Oh yeah. I do think while the Doctor is making this decision, the shapeshifter sort of has their own idea about it.
Yeah.
And is
Maybe
kind of,
that
I
could
think,
play into the way the Doctor into what happens at the end. If the Doctor can solve it, is this what you're going to say? Sorry.
Oh, so I was going to say that to back up the political system even more, the shapeshifter unfreezes every single president they have currently who's developed enough to exist.
I thought I had toward the beginning was that they could mention offhand that there are colonies of humans off-world, because we've invented space travel by this point.
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe the Doctor could force the plan to get everyone off of the planet and governing themselves.
So essentially carving up the Earth into different colonies.
And send them all different ways away from the Earth to maybe rebuild later.
So so he puts the machine on he builds that plan for building spaceships and colony ships, and also sets it to this machine will reshape the planet sort of again.
Yes.
Sort of going through its prehistoric phase.
Yeah, kind of, I guess.
I'm not putting the reset button on Earth physically and having people forcing people to evacuate.
Yeah.
I do like that, and I think the shapeshifters would be to the Doctor you realize what you've just done. you've deprived these people of their home. You've taken that upon yourself to have absolute dominance over their lives.
Oh, yeah.
And like the Doctor, I don't think really has a response. I think just like, I think all he can really say is like, all I've tried to do is give them like the hope to be better than this. Because like the way it was going, how could I not step in? And I think the shapeshifter definitely has sort of a superiority over them in that moment.
Yeah. Because the Doctor does just love stepping in. That's like his favorite thing.
And like especially changing major world events on a whim to like because he's decided that this is the best course of action.
Can we maybe, because this from the Doctor's perspective is history, can we maybe make up a reason why he can just do that? Because he can't really change history, especially of such an important planet as Earth.
I think with because it's the 15th Doctor.
Yeah.
And obviously I think it was a big deal for 9, 10, 11. I think like up until 11 honestly about changing history.
Yeah.
By the time we've gotten to the 15th Doctor, he is I think he's at the point of saying like it doesn't matter. That was the Time Lord's way. That was what they wanted. That was they wanted absolute control over their sort of idea of a world. And like, I'm not going to stand by it. If people are suffering, I'm going to stop it.
Okay.
I'm here. If I wasn't doing anything, that would make me a monster. And I think like flipping Waters of Mars, that sort of ending to be not necessarily positive, but also not necessarily negative as like why the 15th Doctor can just do that, because like, oh what, I'm going to just arbitrarily let people die because I know that to have happened.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to allow that to happen anymore.
Because this is the kind of thing the Doctor would maybe know about.
Yeah.
Because he always comes back to this moment in Earth's history. Like, from the 60s up to now. He's always come back to now. And I just wondered, maybe this could be like the reason? Maybe he explains something about that.
Yeah. This is the moment where he comes back and decides to make a difference with it.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so like, are you saying like he brought the shapeshifter here not on a whim, but on like a thought?
Maybe.
On like,
yeah, we could.
We can tie that into the opening as well, because the shapeshifter is talking about, obviously in a very kind of bleak way, about changing the face of a human. The Doctor, maybe in that moment, is inspired to do the same, even if he would never admit it.
Because this is this is a very good idea. We just have to justify. We just have to justify it. I just think it's not very motivated by what the Doctor believes. What would the Doctor also like in things like with the Impossible Astronaut, when Riversong changed even 1 point in time, like the only reason he can go back in time and change things is because they usually like.
I suppose it depends on what the philosophy of Doctor Who we're trying to do is, because I think there's two very distinct ones of like that one where like, and it's also the one in Father's Day as well, that like changing even the slightest thing that was supposed to happen is fundamentally going to break everything and is wrong. But there's also the one that I'm always more inclined to now is the
Vincent
bit
Van Gogh
in
one.
Vincent Van Gogh, and do you know the bit in the 50th anniversary where the three Doctors are like,
yes,
we could change, we can't, they're like, we can't change history, and the Matt Smith's like, we do it all the time, like we're gonna completely circumvent the Time War and have this be
okay.
it.
So yeah, I think maybe, what if it was the Doctor just saying, okay, here's what you here's how you actually, like, change things. You shouldn't change them to be, like, more like what you want. You should change them to be better. And, like, he could justify it like, we're not saving all the humans, but some of the humans are going to be leaving in these ships, and they are going to be saved, kind of.
And that's the sort of retort. I really like that of the shapeshifter has a stance of like, you've meddled in these people's lives and you've decided to reshape the face of humanity, and the Doctor's like, I have just given them the option to live better lives at a cost, but this is the only way things were going to change.
Okay.
For the better.
Okay. Right. All right.
Okay, I think I'm quite satisfied with that. I think that's really cool. I like that a lot.
Okay. Let's give it another episode.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking that the whole time of like, this has become much longer than a 30-minute affair.
Maybe even 2 more episodes, or maybe not.
I think keep it to 3. Keep it to 3 for this one.
Okay.
I was thinking the whole time this has become much larger than what we had for it originally. Okay, so that's our episode. That's 2163 sorted. I really like that a lot. That's a really cool idea.
I said 2163 as a reference to 1963.
63.
I don't know why. I just wanted to.
No, I think that's fun. So we've the sort of world. I like the sort of like package presidents. I do think there should be a bit to like, as the shapeshifter is acting as a distraction for the Doctor, that they release a bunch of other presidents, which completely clogs up the like election system that they've sort of arbitrarily set for themselves. I really like the idea of the package presidents, the in their like tubes, in their like their frost packs.
Yeah, we could even
and I think
say
the shape.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Carol.
We could even say that the Doctor has maybe heard something about this, but it was like, it's a point that's in flux in the history of humanity, or whatever.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm happy with that.
And I think that leads quite nicely into the other 3-parter with the Doctor and the shapeshifter. I think the shapeshifter holds a lot of contempt for the Doctor after this moment. Okay.
Yeah.
You just okay. If you can do this, then I can do it, and I'm not going to have the pretense that it's for like the benefit of others.
Okay.
And that leads into our bit other 3-parter.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think episode 8 should be our quiet episode. 1 episode.
Oh no, that's now episode 10 because of all of the extra stuff.
Can we add episode? Can we? Yeah. Oh, thank you. I was literally going to say, can we add Thank you. That's perfect. 15 episodes will be good. Oh wow, you're going whoa.
Oh. I mean, okay. I did say that. Okay, right. We can stop at 15. But like, the original thing that I said was it could be like 52 episodes. But I guess not.
I think 52 might be too many, but I do think 20 episodes would be pretty good. Okay.
What about 26? Because that was the amount that was the average amount in the 4th Doctor and.
I think it just depends how much the
3rd Doctor
we have to
All right.
We want to stay on it. Keep it at 15 for now, for like today maybe. And then in the future we can add more.
Okay, yeah, I guess we could go up to 15 and then see what's going on later.
I had an idea for a short 15-minute episode, of after the events of these 3 very big episodes, that it's just the Doctor and the shapeshifter going to either an alien either an Earth or I think maybe an alien art museum,
Yeah.
and just exploring it.
An art museum.
There's no I don't think there's any big stakes going on here.
Okay.
I don't think it's really a big fight. It's just them de-stressing after the events of the last episode, and maybe the shapeshifter sort of exploring the sort of the sculptures and the bodywork, and sort of exploring their own sort of form.
Yeah.
And the sort of background of it is them trying to figure out their place in this universe. If they want to be a part of it, or if they do just want to go home and never experience this stuff like this again.
Okay. But I think there should be something specific and strange about this one.
What? How do you mean?
Like the exhibits are something that humans wouldn't maybe understand as art. It's an alien interpretation of art.
Yeah,
in some
it's
way,
a different.
I'm not sure what that would
Maybe
be.
the structure of it could be 3 exhibits from 3 different alien cultures. I think one of the cultures could be Sontaran art, and what Sontaran art means. What is it? What would a Sontaran imagine a work of art to be?
That's great. I'm really not sure.
They might just have their a few their best
Guns?
their best soldiers, best guns and best soldiers who just stand around in the museum all day, who have their feats are so great that they're one of their clones has been sent off to be a piece of art, and is telling stories of his great conquest.
I'm trying to.
And I think that might be maybe have that be the second art piece that they go to, and it sort of diffuses the tension between the Doctor and the shapeshifter a bit, because they're just listening to this sort of boastful Sontaran as he sort of lists off his various feats of war, and maybe the Doctor corrects him on his history a little bit, just to be oh, well, actually, could you have been on the planet during the year 86? Because obviously there was no habitable life on there at any point. So did you conquer it really early? And you're just
Yeah. So I think it would make more sense for them to be holograms rather than actual people.
yeah, hologram. I just thought maybe because the Sontarans are all clones that they just send off one of their clones to just sit in a museum forever.
I guess so. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. I mean, maybe they think that's it's on their homeworld.
It's yeah,
That's what
the
there
museum
is
could
to
be
do.
on this could be on the Sontaran homeworld as well. The museum, each exhibit could be on a different homeworld that they just sort of very quickly pop to.
Yeah.
And this is on the Sontaran, this is the equivalent of a Sontaran museum. The favorite clones of the Sontaran Empire who did great things but can't fight anymore or something like that. They're just elected to be exhibits for people to look at.
Yeah.
And I think they could have as they're walking up to the main exhibit, you have a little Lynx memorial there.
Oh.
Like a little,
Which one's Lynx? Isn't he the guy who was in the Sontaran experiment?
Yeah, he was the first. Was it? Oh, it might be Lynx. Oh, yeah, that is. Yeah, either Lynx or the guy from the Time Warrior, whatever one of those.
Ah, yeah, the Time Warrior, the guy who defeated Gallifrey and killed all the Time Lords. It could be a bunch of Sontarans that the Doctor has defeated.
Here, just pop, passing, but I think all of them are still alive because obviously they're all clones. But they do recognize the Doctor. Because I don't know about you, but I kind of like the idea that the Doctor obviously isn't on great terms with the Sontarans, but they're friendly enough. Because the Sontarans aren't out to kill the Doctor. They're out
What?
to just wars and get people accidentally caught up in wars.
I think that if the Sontarans have spent the time and energy to make an art museum, they would want as many enemies to go there and view the might of Sontar. And
You're
if
dead
they
on.
think
Yeah,
if they think that's honorable to just stand in a museum all day, then yeah,
I'll do it.
yeah.
Yeah, it just them like. I think that's just a time for the Doctor and the Shapeshifters to sort of just have a relax and a bit of a laugh at the like the sort of these very angry Sontarans who sort of like maybe boast at like sort of yell at each other in the exhibit, who are like sort of like trying to one up each other as like, please, you died on your second platoon deployment, 10 clone sleeves completely lost.
Okay. You can say no to this, but can the Doctor just bring some chocolate for him?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's in the canon now, so we've got to do it.
Yeah, he just brings some chocolate. He's Oh, of course. I completely forgot about that. I completely forgot about that. Okay, so Sontaran Art Museum. Other exhibit. A different alien world.
Yeah.
Not in a no longer on Sontar.
I mean, it could be. I'm trying to think of planets the Doctor has visited.
I think at least one of the museums should be about like abstract sculptures, like very alien and kind of maybe interactive and moving, like abstract sculptures to sort of get some stuff about the shapeshifter, like, to explore their character a bit through like the imagery.
Has the Doctor visited? What about the Nestine homeworld?
The Nestine conscious. What? Yeah. The I don't even know what the. You throw me for a loop by mentioning the Nestine because I completely forget.
You forgot about the Nestines.
I forget about the Nestine consciousness all the time. Because is it supposed to be, is the Nestine consciousness like one being that just like,
It's a consciousness.
yeah, it doesn't, there's only one Nestine. There's not like,
Kind of.
there's not more than one, is there?
I mean, it's living plastic. It could be just a sea of plastic.
Oh, like a sea of like, and it's, oh, I get what you mean. Like a sea of sort of molten plastic that's like forming shapes. Like it's not a museum as such, but it's like Doctor's like we're sort of like I really shouldn't be here because these guys kind of hate me, but we should be undercover, and they just sort of look over like maybe like a sort of stop motion sea of plastic that's like reforming itself.
Stop motion is great. Oh, now I'm thinking about it. Stop motion. That's perfect.
I thought we could do CGI, but I wouldn't like the idea of it being CGI. I think stop motion, you get the sort of uncanny of it forming like limbs and body parts
It would look
within
like
itself.
plastic if it was clay as well.
Exactly. You get the sort of nice like look.
What if they go into the plastic and then they're stop motion?
Like they actually enter the sort of like I think the Doctor goes, yeah, this is going to get a little bit weird. if you need to vomit, just do it discreetly. And they enter the sort of pool, and like the shapeshifter gets to experience like properly reshaping themselves again and having much more and like an abstract form.
Yeah.
And I think that like that like brings them to tears a bit. Like they get to experience that the Doctor's like allowed them to experience that joy one more time in this universe. Yeah,
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. That could be the last one.
I really love the like that'll be the final one, yeah. Yeah, I think that's an excellent idea with the Nestine consciousness. Well done, that's fantastic. That's a really cool concept.
Yeah. Thanks.
Because when you said Nestine, I thought, Where are you going with this? But then, of course, they're plastic entities. They build, like, they create. Okay,
Yeah.
first art museum.
Could just be Earth. I was thinking
In
about
Earth Museum.
Yeah, they just go there for like a couple of minutes. Like, yeah, these
Yeah.
guys have got some art, but it's kind of boring.
And I think at this bit, like, it's very like the Doctor's like joking a little bit more, like you said, like it's kind of boring, maybe not up to your speed, and the shapeshifter is like still feeling like quite distraught from the last episode, like they're not fully with it. They do get a couple of cracks in about the artist, and the Doctor sort of smiles at them as they start to like maybe loosen up a little bit, and then by the time they're at the Sontaran world, they're feeling a lot more comfortable and like happier again. Kind of boring. They go to the Louvre. They go see the Mona Lisa. Like the Doctor's like, don't worry, it's fake.
It's a fake.
Maybe not the Louvre. That's just a silly joke. Just an Earth museum with just like art. I think the shapeshifter would like Jackson Pollock. They'd enjoy that. They'd enjoy that.
Yeah.
Into the spots.
They could go to the Tate Modern. If we're pretending to be the BBC, we could get permission to film in the Tate Modern.
The Tate Modern, yeah. So we get so Earth Art Museum. Sort of like it's a little bit tense. The Doctor's joking around. The shapeshifter starts to loose up a bit. They start making fun of the Earth art a little bit, and then the Doctor does try and big it up because he likes to big up Earth. But they have a little joke. They go to the Sontaran Museum and have a really funny time at these sort of like bickering, very serious soldier types who just live in a museum all day.
Yeah.
And then the Nestine art of like the sort of stop motion world where the shapeshifter can sort of reform and recreate themselves, like
yeah,
and that sort of brings them much closer together than they've ever been up to this point. I really like that.
What if the Doctor reshapes himself into like past incarnations as well?
Yeah, like maybe like not even like fully reforming into one, but like it's like a mosaic of like the various like different parts sort of blending over each other.
Yeah. I love that.
Why does that one face come up twice, Doctor? Don't worry about it for marketing reasons. Are we finished with episode 10?
I think so.
Okay. Episode 11. Also, I'm thinking just ahead of time, I don't think this series would have a traditional finale of like past Revival Who. I don't think it would really, because I don't think this is quite a big bombastic series.
No, definitely
of like,
not.
Yeah, I think something a bit tamer.
I think maybe it could just be the shapeshifter finds somewhere they like,
or and decides to settle.
Yeah.
It could honestly, like, if past this point they start like exploring their limitations and what they can do in this universe, just like maybe they form they weird companion ending. Maybe they become a planet. Maybe they just become a planet and habitate life.
Yeah.
We'll get to that like later.
Yeah.
Later down the line.
What if there's some people that this companion can help with their shapeshift, with their telepathy abilities?
Oh, with their sort of like empathetic. Yeah, I like that.
Like in dreams or something.
Yeah, I quite like that. Do you want to have that be the next one?
Yeah.
I think have this be a doctorless story and have it just be the shapeshifter helping people.
Yeah, like yes. It could even be that we don't know who the shapeshifter is. Like it just
it's not clear that they're involved in this episode.
No, yeah.
Cool. Oh, that's a fun one. Would you want to have it be like one person they're sort of helping in this episode, or multiple people?
I don't know. It depends on the setting. It could be like, what if it was a mind prison?
Ooh, Like, it's this Miles O'Brien.
Yeah.
We gotta help him out. It could be someone who has just gotten out of prison, who is genuinely quite struggling to sort of adapt to their like new environment outside. Like, they've been, and then through dreams, the shapeshifter kind of helps them.
What if it was just the Doctor and the shapeshifter are just staying in a big city, and the shapeshifter meets someone, and they're like, "Hang on, you seem really sad. Can I help?" And then the 2 episodes are like they have a weird sci-fi problem, which the maybe they've come out of prison or something.
Maybe like I like the idea that they like maybe the Doctor and the shapeshifter are relaxing somewhere. They're not really looking for something, and the shapeshifter actually pursues trying to help someone.
Yeah,
I do like. I think I do like the concept of that it's through dreams. I think that's quite a strong one, because then you could have a lot of cool imagery in there.
yeah,
Like it could. I mean, if it's modern day like our Earth, it could just literally be someone who is struggling, like someone coming to terms with like just I don't know, a grief loss, like mentally. They are sort of shutting down a little bit. Honestly, it could just be about helping someone with OCD through dreams.
yeah. But like, I think I don't want it to be on Earth because
Okay.
because the rest of the series has kind of not been on Earth.
Yeah, we've been quite. It's been quite nice that we've not been. I think the only episode we've really had on Earth is that one bit from the museum and 2163. I mean, if we're thinking like making it a more sci-fi problem, maybe having it that this person, like their sort of mental distress is manifesting in a very physical sense, kind of like a Fear Her or that one with the little boy and the monsters. Do you remember that one?
Yeah. What if it was threatening the entire village? Also, what if it was a village that?
Yeah. Whoa. Matthew, slow down. No, I like that. Like, it is like a threat that is going to consume. I mean, we can go planet-wide if you want. Planet world-ending threat.
Yeah. What if there was just?
Want to go planet world-ending threat?
Could be a tiny planet.
I mean, like, yeah, like a little Pluto sort of world that's just getting like bombarded by just kick distress.
It could be like a child who was in distress and like
I like
about
that.
to destroy the planet. Yeah.
Just to have them be like, I think maybe have it be don't tell the audience what's going on. Have it be that it's already set in the child's like dreams, and that the sort of shapeshifter arrives in front of them, and the story goes on. Like it's revealed that what's happening on the outside world because of this child's like what they're going through.
Oh yeah. It could be like the first episode could be like a series of vignettes, like with the child just going through them.
Yeah.
And they could all,
I like that.
And then in all of them they could meet the shapeshifter. But like we don't know it's the shapeshifter, so it's just this mysterious person who we don't who, like looks menacing.
And you can even set it up that maybe this is the Doctor, and then there's the reveal that this is the shapeshifter sort of taking an active stand to help somebody, to sort of look after them.
Yeah. Yeah. But like, okay. What could the problem be though? I feel like is the big question.
I think this society, like they have, if like, I mean, I think this is other stories have done this before, but I don't really care. But like they have the ability to like mentally sort of like bring things into fruition. They just we could.
Yeah.
I have an idea to completely flip this story. a little bit.
Uh-huh.
But keeping the core premise. This is you can say no to this because this is I've literally just come up with it and it's a little bit hokey. The idea that the child, these dreams are from like the sort of like thoughts and imaginings and dreams are deep inside of a Cyberman.
A Cyberman.
The shapeshifter, and it is the shapeshifter trying to help them, and maybe stop a cyber invasion in the process. Maybe this is a cyber leader or something, and they're getting into the dreams. End of the first episode, it is revealed that this is from maybe like until the very end of the second part. I don't know.
Okay.
That these are the deep thoughts of a Cyberman.
Like a cyber controller, because they.
Yes.
I think they don't like remove everything from cyber controllers.
Yeah, they keep like a little bit, so they have the authority to lead. So like, it's the shapeshifter trying to not only help the person trapped in the cyber controller to divert a Cyberman invasion of a world of this tiny world that they've happened across.
Yeah, What if they were just... What if the Cybermen were planning to invade Earth, and the tiny planet is the imaginary world? Because then they could just be in a tiny... They could be in a village on a tiny planet, and then weird shit could be happening, and then it could just get weirder in the village.
The tiny planet is the sort of last, like, sort of vestige of the humanity within the Cyberman.
Like, as the episode goes on, the sky could get, like, fucked up. And then, like, more and more, like people could just start, like, acting weirder. And then, like, the child could, like, hide in one of the buildings as, like, everything's being destroyed. And then a strange person comes in and is like, no, because I'm the shapeshifter, don't worry. I've been here the whole time, but I was secretly the shapeshifter and I'm here to help you.
And I think
that's the cliffhanger.
Because I really like the village getting more like weirder. I think maybe it's like the first part's like this little child is running around, sort of being normal, and the shapeshifter's trying to continually show them something. Yeah. Every time it happens, the world gets really weird and scary, and like, they don't know what's happening. And then like you said, by the end of it, shapeshifter's like,
what if we drew attention? What if we drew attention to the fact that there were no other children in the colony?
Yeah, they're the only child there.
Yeah,
and like other sort of like the sort of manifestation of like of the cyber the cyber indoctrination. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is the other colony members trying to like keep them like quote unquote safe, keep them contained. And every time, like, they almost stray away from that, like, it gets worse, and like the emotions manifest in a very violent some sort of violent imagery, which pushes the child back into like the zone of safety.
Oh, I love that.
Okay.
Hang on, I'll write that down.
I really love this idea. This is really cool. Not that it matters too much, but I think thinking about what type of Cyberman this is, I quite like. I wouldn't mind like if we go for because I think the idea that because the Cybermen actually actively would use a child's mind to be their cyber controller, because obviously in that I know that Neil Gaiman episode's pretty terrible, but the episode where it's like, oh yeah, the child, they need like a child's mind to think, to design new Cybermen, so like having them as a controller, maybe have them be like a Cybus, like 2005 Cybermen.
What if they were the fourth Doctor Cybermen who actually got angry?
Oh!
And we come up with maybe a reason why.
You two will remain on the bridge. Should any of the crew attempt to interfere with navigational equipment, they are to be restrained.
Why don't you kill us now?
I want my guards to observe your reactions.
That's sadistic.
No, scientific. If we are to fight Earthlings, it is better we understand their weaknesses.
Because that was actually that's a really good point. I was listening to an audio recently, and it has a bit in there that the doctor's like, is the reason the cyber leaders usually sound so full of emotion, is that because they are like, they're fighting it back all the time. So using the sort of
Silver
Revenge
Nemesis.
of the Cybermen.
Yeah. And then it's like,
yeah, I think that's really cool.
The
That's a great
Cybermen
idea.
actually get angry because they're like a version of Cybermen who aren't as mechanical.
They use it. They primarily use emotion in their controllers because they need, like, it makes them more efficient at commanding.
Yes.
I really like that. I think that's excellent. It's a really cool idea.
Okay.
I suppose so. Part 2 is more about like the shapeshifter directly talking to the child.
It could be more of a journey through like a really scary place. Like they realize at the start that they're on a village that is on like a floating island, and the sky is just like swirling purple stuff.
In part 1, have we revealed that that this is a Cyberman story at this point?
I think we should do some exposition at the start of part 2.
I mean, it could literally be...
The shapeshifter's like, I've got this friend, he's helping from outside. There's these things called Cybermen, and you're one of them, but you shouldn't worry about that. That's only for people who might be watching. Wink, wink.
Maybe don't have it be the child... Like, explain that the Cybermen are involved somehow. Don't tell the shapeshifter doesn't tell the child that they are one. Maybe even have it be as simple as like,
yeah.
Oh, because if at the end of the last story, maybe the other like villagers look like Cybermen, maybe just explain that the shapeshifter sort of like dances around saying like the Cybermen are trying to convert you. They need to convert you to complete their invasion. If you stick with me, I can help you. And that's like the sort of it's not fully revealed that this is an internal struggle, but it like pick up that something more surreal is going on.
Can we have it be that the shapeshifter doesn't know what children are? And it's like, why are you small?
You're smaller than the average human. What's this? What's going on with you? I think the shapeshifter, I think unintentionally and intentionally as it goes on, does make them like laugh. And they find them quite funny.
Yeah.
They sort of view them as like an imaginary friend, and the shapeshifter slowly gets more comfortable with the idea of maybe using their powers to like sort of entertain and sort of, I think as they're walking down whatever this sort of like twisted road is, they're like keeping them distracted, keeping them happy, and like telling them to sort of keep that joy, keep that sort of like energy and life.
Yeah.
And at the sort of as like it sort of reaches the end, and it looks like everything's gonna be all right. Maybe a cyber controller sort of does appear and gives the game away of what's actually going on, and then it all starts collapsing again, and the child sort of starts retreating into themselves.
Yeah.
I think the finale of this should be the shapeshifter who is sort of losing grip and is going to have to be like kicked out of this space really soon. Just says like, what the Cybermen have done to you is horrific. It's terrible, and you're not going to be able to understand it. And like I think sort of something about like your body, it's not your own anymore. But if you stay strong and keep fighting, I know it was going to be tough, and I know it's not fair. I will be there with you to save you. You get to, and you might not be able to look the way you were before, or even be treated who you were, but I will always be by your side. And then that leads into the back into the real world with the actual cyber fleet.
Yeah.
And then go from there somewhere.
Yeah. What if that leads into the final part? What if What if we just end it off with a... What if this is a 5-parter, and those were the first 2 parts, and then the last 3 parts are like some kind of adventure?
I was gonna say maybe just have it end ambiguously. This one, I don't know. Maybe you can't end it ambiguously.
They could They could have it be that the if you really wanted to, the spaceship they're on is about to explode, and they have to leave, and they're like, there's no way of knowing what.
We could have it be that like the controller is like ready to, like, the invasion is ready, like Earth is about to be like decimated by the Cybermen, but the controller at the last minute goes, like, make something up that tactically this is incorrect. We have to regather and retreat, like heavy losses, and sort of uses its authority to redirect the cyber fleet back to Mondas or wherever the fuck they live. And that is the sort of like the glimmer of hope.
It could be like a historical version of Earth, like in... I'm trying to think of what time period. What if it was the time period they went to back in 2163? Like, and then when they went there, there was like someone was like, "Hey, did you see that thing in space?" Like just after the Doctor went.
Oh, so it's a return to 2163. I do like it being a return to 2163.
But that is a good idea. It wasn't what I meant. Because like they went back to the medieval period, but it actually could be 2163.
Like after the Doctors like changed the course of the planet, there are still people left on there, and the Cybermen are taking that as an advantage to go and convert the remainder of the Earth population, who are sort of stuck and not able to leave straight away. That's
kind of cool, because we did have like a second Doctor vibe going on toward that part. So
okay, I'm really happy with that.
I think
we could have the the return of the sleeve presidents.
The sleeve
another own faction on Earth.
Yes.
I think with this one, have the shapeshifter be incapacitated for most of it because they're doing their whole dream thing, and that this is just a Doctor story until maybe the very end.
I think maybe 13 and 14 should be the Doctor, and then 15 should be both.
Also, I know we talked about this a while ago. Did we want to treat 15 as just sort of episode 15 as a midway point at like the end of the shapeshifter's journey?
I'm not. I mean, it could be the end.
I would be happy to count like obviously for today, I think leave it at 15. But if we wanted to do more stories involving the Doctor and the shapeshifter, like carry it on beyond 15. But I suppose it's up to you.
Yes. I think it could... If we do this again, I think we should continue on with this story.
Well, we should absolutely do this again, because I've had a lot of fun.
Definitely.
I've had a lot of fun thinking this through.
But, like, I think this could be, like, a mid-season ending.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, this is not quite the finale. Like, this is just, like, to wrap up, here's what we've been through so far, and like we're gonna carry on. No new companion. Maybe next time when we think about it, we introduce a third companion, another companion, so it's a free.
I think
and they like have some.
Actually, I was thinking maybe when after this we have the Doctor just be absent, and we cut to Unit, and then it's Unit for a few episodes.
Ooh, what for? Like, do you mean for past episode 13 and 14, or for episode 13 and 14?
So this would be...
I know, I'd be really down with that.
This would be the end of these two doing whatever they're doing, and then But I guess this would be a 3-part.
Do you want to do okay, 3-part story?
Uh-huh.
Do we want Do we want any of the big boys to come in? Do we want the Daleks? Do we want to...
No.
You
I'm
don't
gonna go blanket no. No on that one.
Wow. You don't want Omega. You don't want the Rani in there.
No. Absolutely not.
What did you think of the Rani when you were watching Classic Who, by the way?
Yeah. Fine. All
Pretty
right.
much.
Okay, we need something that kind of sums up the dynamic of the Doctor in this. We actually haven't given them a name yet.
You should give them a name.
I had the idea, back in 7, 8, and 9, that the shapeshifter would take the name of someone that they got killed, as like.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, I like that a lot.
So it could be like, this was a colony of humans, right? Or it doesn't have to be a colony of humans.
Wouldn't you say it's a colony of aliens, just to spice it up? A colony of
Maybe
aliens?
humans and aliens.
Yeah, like a mixed group. Yeah, how would we call that? I'm thinking, I think like a sci-fi name that's not too sci-fi. Coming into my head is Kira, and that's just because I'm thinking of DS9.
I'm thinking of I think Ku's names are really
Ava?
hard.
Ava?
Ava? Not alien enough, I think.
I was thinking of Kava. With a K.
Kuva.
Hoover.
Kuva.
Could you spell that out? Or was that Hoover?
I'm down here.
Hoover. I like that. Hoover.
Yeah.
So a story to sort of sum up what these characters have been through together.
Maybe.
Because most of.
Maybe they find someone who's like. Maybe they find someone who's evil, who was at the same point that Kuva was at the start of the series.
I know we mentioned we could pull a Zimjar. We could pull a Zimjar.
Bring back someone from the past that we already had.
So I know he was never named, but we mentioned in the episode in the first three-parter. Wait, is it a three-part? No, the second three-parter with where the shapeshifter's in charge of a colony.
Oh.
They had like a right hand, like an evil right hand man.
Okay.
Maybe that is like that person has like become a sort of minor galactic threat who sort of escapes that colony world.
I'm sensing that the vibe in this call is quite a lot lower energy. With both of us.
Yeah, I mean, do you want to maybe leave it here then and come back later? Not later today, but like at another point and figure it out.
I'd like to.
I think I've lost a little bit of steam, but I'm very proud of what we've done so far.
We have. I think. Okay, if we assign another episode to one of these, we'll have 13 episodes, which is half of 26. So, what if we spend 2 episodes in the land of fiction? Or maybe 4 episodes in the Shapeshifter's colony?
Yeah, I can.
Somewhere.
I think honestly, 3 works quite well there. Maybe for 2163.
Yeah, that could give them a bit more time to explore how technology has evolved in that time as well.
Get a greater look at the world. Yeah,
they could get to know some of the people, and also if we wanted to go back to 2163, that would give us more, because we know more to work with. Yeah, because we could say that we spend like halfway through of just maybe the first 2 episodes would just be the Doctor and Kuva, or whatever we said they were called.
Oh yeah, Kuva.
Or they wouldn't be called Kuva yet.
Yeah, like exploring like the world. I think also that gives more time at the beginning to have a little like jumping around history bit
Yeah.
before landing on 2163.
Yeah, I think we would definitely... Maybe we just spend 2 episodes in the Land of Fiction instead.
No, I think 2163. I think it
Okay.
needs it. I think Land of Fiction is more of an interlude.
Sure. I'm going to update the numbers. And then one last thing. We have to come up with some names of all the episodes. I like 2163 as that one. I feel like we've been calling it that. It's just a nice name.
I think it's a cool. I think that's a good name. I think Land of Fiction could be called Headspace.
I'm gonna put a hyphen because of space.
Yeah, I like that. That's neat. We could call the first episode Doctor Who in The Revenge of the Quarks.
Doctor Who and the Quarks.
Doctor Who and the Quark. There is a genuine audio. I've not listened to it, but I saw it. It's called I think it is called The Return of the Quarks. And I just
Okay, the shapeshifter being evil.
Oh, that's a tricky one. I think that one like fragile connection.
Something about my planet. My little world. My little planet.
Yeah, I like that. Oh, like little worlds. Yeah, My Little Planet. My Little World, actually, I think works quite well.
Okay. Okay, I'm always excited coming up with names for things. Okay, the art museums. I feel like you'd be good at coming up with this one.
Art museum. What's a good one?
Something about exhibition of the Daleks.
An exhibition in hope.
In hope. I'm not.
Or an exhibition in hope. Yeah, I'm not sure either. Quite a tricky one.
Yeah, I think when we do this again, we should make it a point to come up with the ending, like after we come up with the first episode.
Yeah.
And then we can give minimal effort to one of the ones in the middle.
I do have an episode title for 12 and 13.
Yes.
I think it should be called Electric Dreams.
Oh. Okay. Maybe I feel like that would, depending on no, not the I like the name, but I think it would fold into some other kind of story where the Doctor's doing something in it. I feel like, okay, if we've got everything in here, like if this is all we've got, then we should both like come up with extensions to these.
We'll have a think about it
of what could be going on.
Because I've just had an idea of a slight change to Electric Dreams to sort of like give the Doctor a bit to do afterwards. Is that while parts 1 and 2 are about like the shapeshifter, part 3 is
there's only
it's
2
not
parts.
a cyber. Oh, it's only 2 parts. Okay. Oh, that's fine then. Don't worry. We'll just keep it.
You should
how
do
it
that
is.
because we don't have many ideas for part 2. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say that it's not a Cyberman invasion. It's like another like. A group of people have just been unlucky enough to have had their ship boarded, and are like getting back the Cybermen. And while the shapeshifter is trying to get the cyber controller to leave, is trying to reach out to them because they want to try. The Doctor is fending back, trying to keep increasingly paranoid survivors safe.
Yes. So it would be like the child has been infected by the virus. Like it's not a virus, it's Cybermen. The child's been infected by Cybermen, and they're just like the whole time in part 1 the Doctor and these other people have been being hunted by them, but like they are the child's family or something.
Yes. Like I think the child has already been cyber converted, but they are now like hunting them down, and the Doctor, like the sort of the shapeshifter, takes it upon themselves, making themselves unfortunately a burden on the Doctor because they're now unconscious, trying to get into this child's mind.
Yes, I like that. Like the Doctor was like, "Don't do it.
Do it. We can't. You can't save a Cyberman," and they do it anyway. And now it's the Doctor. Part 2 is like cutting it back and forth between the Doctor trying to help these people, while not hurting the Cyberman.
Yeah.
And the family obviously grieving for their child who they've lost.
I
mean, it could be just a Cyberman story. One Cyberman. It doesn't even need to be multiple Cybermen.
It could be that the companion manages to get the child to calm down for long enough to stand still so that the Doctor can turn off their emotional inhibitor, and then they just become normal.
And like it's because I think the Doctor is half expecting like, oh, is treating this like, I'm giving you time to do this so I can kill the Cyberman. There's no way to save them, and then the shapeshifter actually does make an impact, and they manage to bring them back, or at least a part of them back.
I think
that's
that's not a very 15th Doctor thing to say.
You know what? That's true.
I think
you're right. Oh, you're dead on. He would be trying to save them.
Yeah.
I think he just wouldn't want the companion risking themselves like that.
Yeah. I think he would have he would be going, I told you not to do that, but I'm kind of glad that you did because it means I'm teaching you well. Also, if you can get them to stand still, I can turn off their emotional inhibitor. And then it could be like it's the companion's story, but it's the 15th Doctor is helping them, and it's kind of a team effort.
And you just got the 15th Doctor being like, please, just this once, let me save like one of them. Once.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's like, I think that's quite a nice ending to that story and quite hopeful. Maybe the Cybermen had invaded the ship, but they were few in numbered and very injured, so they've converted at least one person, and the rest have just kind of broken down. The impending threat could also be that, like, if this child has been converted to a cyber controller, that they are going to contact a much larger fleet of Cybermen to come and completely wipe out the Doctor and convert everyone there.
Yes. Okay, right. That's such a good ending. Okay, that's a good ending for halfway through.
Yeah, that's a lot more complete now.
Yes, definitely. Okay. Let's go back. So
and that really completes the arc as well. Because I think I'm going to get rid of Colonel Shaw because I don't think it's much of an idea.
Did you run down?
I just undid him right now because I think that's a much better ending to this, like the midway of this.
Okay. All right. Let's read back what we've got. So the first 2 episodes is the shapeshifter has I guess captured the TARDIS and is putting them through one of their own adventures as a side character, and he kind of deconstructs it and then takes pity on them because they are like they now have nothing and may die, and takes them with him. Then they go to the we didn't actually write anything for this one.
Did we not write anything? What for
Headspace?
Oh, Headspace. I think it was what we mostly just talked about is that it's just kind of them wandering around and kind of having a chat and just sort of experiencing weird shit in the land of fiction. It was more of a light episode. You had the idea of the shapeshifter becoming Zoe, which I quite liked.
Yeah.
Sort of making fun of the Doctor's like usual antics.
I guess we could actually bring back the actress for Zoe. I don't know. Then 2163, they'd be exploring the world, and then eventually, after like a few episodes of getting to know people, they would manage to evacuate people from this horrible place.
Yeah, a world that's being governed by a same man every couple of years,
Yeah,
and dictating their like international tragedies and geographical events to sort of keep humanity streamlined.
yeah. Then My Little World, the Doctor and the Shapeshifter land somewhere, and the Shapeshifter goes like takes as much power as they can from the rulers, as like because they want some control back, and then decides they don't want it anymore by the end.
Yeah, sort of come to terms with like that they are not a singular being and not an island, and sort of experiences like the sort of like a quick run through of what maybe the first Doctor experiences, maybe a bit more, getting a bit more empathy.
Yeah, I guess so.
That wasn't intentional, but just like, and the Doctor sort of giving a hopeful warning of like not like a threat, but not a threat of like, if you do that again, I won't be able to help you.
Yeah. And then the art museum thing.
Yeah, the sort of de-stress episode where they sort of like try and relax after the last adventure.
Yeah.
And sort of grow and sort of like learn to feel more comfortable with each other again, and start building an actual friendship.
And then Electric Dreams, where the companion actually manages to help people. Yeah.
Which is I'm really proud. I think we've created a really nice little arc.
Yeah.
Over the course of those few episodes for them.
Can I just say, at the end of 2163, the final episode could be like a space thing where they're running around in a spaceship. Yeah. I feel like that would be quite a big ending for that episode, and it deserves a big ending because it's so long.
Yeah.
I'm nervous about doing a 4-parter because every single 4-parter in the classic series was boring.
I mean, we have the benefit of these being. We have the benefit of these being very short though, like 15 minutes each. It's quite nice.
Yeah, I guess so.
And I think I think honestly, the 15 minutes was a really genius idea on your part, because it's really made us have to think about what beats are happening quite snappily. There's not really time for filler.
Yeah.
It can mostly just all be character focused, which is quite nice.
Okay, yeah. But in that case, yes, I'm glad. I agree with what you were saying before I interrupted you.
Yeah, I'm really happy with this. I'm really pleased. I definitely want to do this again.
Definitely, yes.
That's really cool ideas.
I'm very happy, yeah.
I think my favorite is definitely My Little World.
Yeah. That's definitely really good.